I figured with the Combine being just about a week away, it was a perfect time to do another 2015 NFL mock draft, a pre-Combine edition, because after the Combine, you're going to see a lot of things move and a lot of things really shake up, because soon after that as well, you're going to be looking at free agency, and a lot of things are going to change, I promise you. I've put my entire first-round mock draft in the description box down below. I only did one round this time for the interest of saving myself time and saving you some time. Some of the things I want to talk about here, first and foremost, is that, again, we're still more than 2 months away from the draft. A lot of things are going to change. Number two is for those of you that are saying, well, this team needs this or a team needs that. You have to keep in mind, not every team drafts for need, and that's not always the best philosophy to go with. A lot of times you'll have certain teams that will go with a player that they've rated way above everybody else, like Miami did last year, let's say, with Juwan James at pick number 19. You'll also have those teams that draft a player that's not going to have a lot of immediate impact or playing time, but they do that thinking about the future when it comes to the salary cap. See D Ford going to the Kansas City Chiefs at number 23 last year, with Justin Houston hitting free agency this year, looking at a massive, massive payday, and Tom Bahali going to hit free agency very soon. The Chiefs sat there and saw somebody that they liked, that they thought that fit, but also somebody that was going to help them from a salary cap standpoint down the road. You have to keep these things in mind. There are certain times where teams are going to draft for need because the way the board breaks down, the best player available is at a position of need. So keep that in mind. Sometimes fans and media members alike like to sit there and always slot a player to a specific team because of a specific need. And it just doesn't always go like that. And that's why we always get surprised every year in the first round when certain players are picked by certain teams, and we shouldn't be. Anyways, with that said, you can check out the first round mock down in the description box down below. A couple of things I want to talk about are some of the potential picks that are going to be in play, in particular in this top 10. What's going to have some of these teams looking to trade out of this pick? The need to accumulate additional picks. Other teams maybe within that bottom half of the top 10 or outside of that top 10 looking to trade up into the top 10. One player that could potentially cause a lot of movement within that top 5 to 7 picks or so is going to be Marcus Mariota, the quarterback from Oregon, but that's not going to be the only one. As you get into that bottom half of the top 10, you can see another team outside of the top 10 want to move up to get their hands on a particular edge rusher in a class that is very deep at the edge rush position, especially at the top of the draft. So some of the picks I see that could potentially be in play in terms of teams looking to move down would be number 2 with Tennessee, as they have needs everywhere. You could say the same thing with Oakland at number 4. They have needs almost everywhere. Number 5, Washington could really potentially be sitting in the catbird seat, because if Tennessee passes on either quarterback, Mariota or Winston, whichever one is available for them to choose at number 2, if they pass on them, that other quarterback is going to most likely drop to number 5 unless somebody vaults up to number 3 or number 4 potentially. So Washington could really be in a great position of power where they have the ability to rectify some of the previous wrongs with the RG3 trade, recoup some desperately needed picks, and be able to move back and still get a player that could help them long term. I think Chicago at number 7, as always, is a team that could be potentially looking to peel back, especially if a team is having their heart set on a particular edge rusher. And if Mariota's gone and the Bears feel, new general manager Ryan Pace feels that there's not that guy worth taking at number 7 for them, that the guy that they want could be had 4 or 5 picks later, then as always, the Bears are going to be looking to move down, as could the Giants at number 9. It's not something they traditionally do, but looking at what they're drafting at number 9 and looking at the players that could potentially be available, there's not that one glaring need. They could afford to peel back a few picks and still get somebody that could be of a real assistance to them. Now, here are some teams that could potentially be moving up in this draft. And part of my mock here, I didn't factor in any trades in terms of actually doing them, but I factored them into the mocking itself. Like, for example, I have the Raiders taking Leonard Williams at number 4, even though I very possibly could envision them moving up to number 2, swapping with Tennessee to be able to get a Leonard Williams as a possibility. The Chicago Bears, you'll see I've got them slotted to take Marcus Mariota at number 7. And yes, it's a pipe dream. Let me dream, damn it! Let me dream! Well, part of that would be them maybe moving up to pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 to be able to get a Mariota before, let's say, the New York Jets got their hands on him. I think the Jets could very well possibly want to move up as well as a preemptive strike to prevent a team like a Chicago or a St. Louis or maybe, hell, who knows, a Cleveland or a Philadelphia moving up in front of them. The Jets could be wanting to get their hands on Mariota, and they very desperately need to. Same thing with the St. Louis Rams. This is another team that is in desperate need of quarterback help. And with there only being real 2 top-flight quarterbacks in this year's draft, maybe only 2 guys that are really worthwhile, frankly, there's Rams, with the picks that they've accumulated in recent years, they need to go for quality more so than quantity this year. The Cleveland Browns could be looking to move up because that's what the Cleveland Browns would do, especially if they've got a hard-on for Marcus Mariota. They just drafted Johnny Manziel last year, so what the hell, why not be going after another quarterback this year? Another team, though, that could be moving up could very well be the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that over the years has accumulated a lot of picks. They've gotten a lot of quantity, but this is a team that needs to get some quality. And one place in particular that they really need to get some quality is at the wide receiver position. So looking at a guy like Amari Cooper or looking at a guy like a Kevin White or a Devante Parker, they could potentially be on the move up the board to get one of those guys, maybe perhaps a Cooper. I know I have the 49ers taking Devante Parker in this mock draft. So there's going to be teams looking to move up, teams looking to trade down, which is all something that we really haven't factored into the mock draft process, but we're going to have to in the weeks and months ahead. So you can check out my first round mock again in the description box down below, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you see playing out, what teams you think could be moving up or moving down, and why they'd be moving up or why they'd be moving down. Do all that in the comments section below.